Hello there, I'm Vine and today I have for you the Max Unity build renewed for 4.0, because over 3 years since the original, Paradox modified the Unity economy, adding some new income sources. And by some I mean quite a lot. Just look at my base notes. I don't even know if I'm gonna calculate everything properly, as we even have 3 alternatives here with Origins, Civics and Ascension. So, let me give you a little disclaimer first. Don't treat this build as playable strategy, but just a collection of tips that can help you with Unity production, and do not use them all in one empire, because following this min-maxed build to the letter is too demanding. Moreover, there are more potential Unity sources and bonuses than I'll mention in this video. I'm omitting them on purpose, as during calculations they were deemed unreliable, conflicting with other sources, or simply not efficient enough to be mentioned. With this out of the way, we can start with the mechanics. First, let's start with the origin, since it's our first variable in the build. We must choose between Knights of the Toxic God or Teachers of the Shroud. Knights are famous exploit origin that we can accumulate with job efficiency exploit, with a downside of being vulnerable in early game and sometimes banned in multi. Teachers, on the other hand, have no real exploit mechanics, but allow us to rush Psionics and have the best Zro income. So, Knights of the Toxic God for single, but for multiplayer and quick runs, choose Teachers of the Shroud. For this video I'm picking Knights, as I'm assuming that you all know how to rush Psionics with the Teachers. Moving along to ethics. We need to take the Fanatic Spiritualist one, as there is no else better at Unity farming, with plus 20% Unity gain and Spiritualist only features that I'll mention later. The last ethics point must go into Egalitarian for plus 25% faction Unity gain and plus 5% specialist job output. As for starting civics, as first one, we pick Beacon of Liberty for plus 15% Unity gain. The second civic is the Parliamentary System for plus 40% faction resource output and their quick formation. Don't get used to those civics, as they are here only for initial Unity rush, and we will be abandoning them both later. Now for the species traits, the must-have is only one. Traditional for plus 10% Unity job efficiency. Optional one here is Chromalogs for additional plus 20% Unity job efficiency. Why optional? 4 points price and portrait lock that blocks me from picking one of the best fungoid portraits dedicated to this build. Now, let's jump into the game and look at the options there. Untraditionally starting with a building actually, as the first Unity rush will also involve civilians. This must-have building is Autochthon Monument that gives 0.5 Unity per 100 civilians, and after full upgrade also gives plus 15% Unity job efficiency and plus 3 Unity per Ascension perk. Optionally, if you wanna get more Unity from civilians, you can switch living standards to social welfare or utopian abundance, as both produce plus 1 Unity per 100 of them. But we don't have to do that, as civilians here will be used only for initial rush, same as factions. Now we can do traditions. Mercantile 3 must be first for adaptive economic policies to unlock Marketplace of Ideas trade policy. Then Enmity to unlock Antagonistic diplomatic stance on finisher effect. Next 3 are not in order. Adaptability to get plus 5% to Unity planet output designations on finisher effect. Harmony for plus 25% planetary ascension effect and an option to create Holy Covenant Federation. And Prosperity for the pursuit of profit tradition that gives plus 5% resource output from jobs. The last one is the Ascension tradition, but more about that in a minute. As for perks, we need One Vision for plus 10% monthly unity, Enigmatic Engineering for Celestial Sanctum building and a possible exploit, Consecrated Worlds as consecrating 3 Gaia planets gives us plus 25% unity gain empire-wide, World Shaper to get the Gaia planets, and for the Ascension perk we pick Biomorphosis or Mind over Matter. That's the second build variable. Biomorphosis is for the job efficiency exploit that I've shown in my previous perfect build, so I'll not repeat myself here and will focus on psionics as there are a couple of features that this Ascension gets. First is our second must-have building for psionic choice, Psi Core, that provides plus 20% job efficiency for psionic pops, that we can accumulate with Psionic Supremacy Agenda that gives another plus 20% job efficiency bonus. Second is Shroud Covenant with the Instrument of Desire for another plus 10% resource output. Also, I'm happy to announce that Stellaris Slanesh is still our bitch due to low cost of plus 25% pop upkeep and correlated upkeep events that are still easy to manage. Now, before we continue, remember to establish a Holy Covenant Federation as we need it to maximize job efficiency for psionic pops, also for plus 10% unity gain and various other unity boosters. Continuing, let's move to edicts. A first one to take, preferably at the game start, is the Veneration of Saints, Spiritualist exclusive edict that increases all priests' output by plus 20%. Second one we get when the Holy Covenant reaches level 5, and that's Zro Catalysis, which increases all psionic pops' job efficiency by plus 15%. Notice that this is plus 55% general job efficiency bonus for psionics with no exploits. So yeah, Psionic Ascension is quite valid even compared to the job efficiency exploit. Let's move to policies. First is the Marketplace of Ideas / Holy Covenant Trade Policy. We have to switch to the Marketplace as soon as we get it, as it converts 25% of trade into unity. And later we can upgrade it into 40% conversion with Holy Covenant Trade Policy. Next one is the Antagonistic Diplomatic Stance that we got from Enmity tradition. It gives us flat plus 10 unity per rival and brings the number of rivals up to 5, allowing us to farm plus 50 unity in early game. Fun fact, this is where the old plus 10% unity bonus per rival went after updates. Shame that's only a flat income now, but we can get this plus 50 very early, so it's good for rushing. Now, let's get back to civics. After establishing the first unity dedicated world and unlocking the third civic slot, it's time to abandon our starting civics for something more efficient. We reform our government to oligarchy and pick Death Cult or Memorialists, another build variable. Death Cult is for Togetherness Sacrifice Edict that gives enormous amounts of unity for sacrificing pops. It's quite nice to use alongside Biomorphosis Ascension. Memorialist Civic is much more friendly for Psionic Ascension as it does not require any management or sacrificing pops and gives a great council position. Next one is Exalted Priesthood for +1 unity from all priests and high priest jobs from capital buildings. This is the best civic for maxing unity production in the whole game. And the last is Ascensionists for +25% planetary ascension effects and another nice council position. Right now we have the maximum ascension effect bonus of +70% from this civic, Harmony Traditions finished and Holy Covenant Federation on level 3rd, with Adaptability production bonus. So remember to ascend all unity planets so we have more unity for unity. But I mentioned council positions. After government's reform, we should get the Minister of Ascension for +2% unity per council level and High Curator for the same bonus. Of course, death cults get the Apostle of Death instead of the Curator that boosts only sacrifice edicts by the same percentage. Is that finally all? No. In the galactic community we push Divinity of Life resolutions to bully robots and technocrats and to get the plus 25% unity from jobs on 5th at Defined Purpose resolution. Now, before we go to evaluation, let's look back at the Knights of the Toxic God exploit. First, we pick all quest choices that increase unity production from knights up to plus 15 unity per 100 knights. Second, we import civilians to become squires that increase job efficiency for the knights by plus 2% per 100 squires. There is no limit for them, so we can go absolutely wild with this bonus. Now it's time for evaluation. In multiplayer, it's a unity rush. Teachers of the Shroud plus Psionic plus Memorialists mix is the best for multi here, and if you ignore inconvenient options for your playstyle, it's even somewhat meta, as it allows us to rush through all traditions and ascend planets quite quickly. In single player, it's a unity flood. Knights plus Biomorphosis plus Death Cult provides not only gargantuan amounts of unity, but also general job efficiency and pops for sacrifices. Of course, you can also go here with the multi-mix for more rushy but also more chill experience. As for the roleplay, it's faith supremacy. Whatever the mix, this build thrives on faith, trampling over all non-believers and sending their empires straight to the void. All shall tremble before gods of Shroud, flesh and toxin, as the true way of existence is in unity of faith. Anyway, what do you think about this build? Write your opinion in the comments, remember to visit channel's Discord, and see you later!